Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Wright. I'm the communications coordinator for GABL. And I just kind of want to take some time here to kind of go over everything that we covered in our coaches meeting yesterday at Shawnee Mission West. So if you weren't there, that's totally fine. You'll be able to get that information here. But if you were there last night and you're just kind of listening to this to kind of follow up and kind of maybe see if there was something you missed or maybe something that kind of answers some questions that you may have, appreciate you guys coming out. Appreciate taking time out of your busy schedule to come out and kind of just listen to us talk about the league and give you some more information. So, what we're going to cover, or what I'm going to cover right here, is just kind of some of the operations and the overview for the season when that comes to game day practices and kind of our sportsmanship process and what goes into that. So, before I get into that, I do want to share these numbers right here. This is the amount of teams that we have for boys and girls through every grade. As you can see, we have a lot of teams in that second to third grade area. That's kind of it looks like that's going to be our sweet spot this year. But we have a lot of teams in every division to where we feel very comfortable being able to make multiple divisions and give everybody a good matchup. Not only is that good to know, but it's also just good to see this to kind of just show how big our league has gotten, and just to kind of remind everybody that even though you're focused on your team, us as a league, we have closer to 300, 400 teams that we have to work with to make ends meet. So as we go throughout the season, please keep that in mind. That we have all these teams that we have to kind of try to work with and cooperate with to make things work and to make things flow. So the first thing I want to talk about is our new website. So if you haven't noticed yet, we made a new website with League Apps. League Apps is a company based in New York City that helps sports programs build their websites and build up their branding. We didn't really like the way that Sports Connect, which was our old website, was looking on mobile phones. And so League Apps does help make our website a lot easier to use when it comes to the mobile interface. And so we just kind of wanted to move to a different system. So we appreciate your guys' patience, kind of dealing with all of that. It does take a little bit of time to kind of find things on a newer website. We do have a little bit of a newer process when it comes to registering players and making teams and stuff like that. So we appreciate your guys' flexibility and patience with us as we maneuver through that. So what I'm going to show you here real quick is to kind of show you how to view your online roster, and to kind of show you what it looks like and how to get to everything. So there's going to be two ways that you are going to be able to view your roster. And the first thing is if you go into your dashboard. So this dashboard is a fake team that we made on my account to kind of help show everybody what it looks like. So when you first log into your dashboard, you're going to scroll down. And then you're going to see under staff assignments, you'll see where it says head coach, where it'll say like role or team, and you'll see your team name here. If you have multiple teams, you're going to see multiple teams there. But for this situation, I only have one fourth grade team. That's right there. You're going to click on the team name. After you click on the team name, you're going to scroll down just a hair. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see where it says schedule, roster, or any messages that may have been sent out to your team. From there, you'll be able to click on this. And if you were at the meeting last night, this slide does look a little bit different. Last night, I had mentioned in our team meeting that you were not going to be able to kind of view contact information. I reached out to League Apps today to kind of see if that was something that we needed to fix on our end. And it was a button that we literally just had to click and kind of maneuver with. Again, just kind of a pain of having a new website and different buttons and things to click. So now if you have not been able to see your roster and all your contact information for everybody, you will now be able to go in there and see it. You will also be able to export that into like a CSV file or be able to print it off into a normal piece of paper. So that way you can contact your parents and get a hold of them that way. The other way to do it besides the website is through the League Apps Play app. The League Apps Play app, again, even though they're our new website, I promise this is not sponsored. I still feel like this is the easiest way to be able to maneuver and find all of your players. So if you've ever used like Game Changer or Team Snap, the Play app is very similar to how this works. And so what you'll do is at the bottom of your screen is you'll have your teams button. You'll be able to click on your team. So if you have multiple teams, you'll have them all listed there. And then from there, you'll be able to go into the roster. and you should be able to click on players as you go through those rosters, and I'll show you here in a second. You'll have your teams at the bottom, your calendar, your messages, and as you click on the teams button, you'll go to you'll see all your teams listed here. You can pin whatever one's at the top. So maybe you're the head coach for one of them. You can pin those at the top to keep it there. So like I said, once you click on your team, you'll see the schedule, roster, any staff or standings that are there. So again, there's our roster, there's the staff, and then there's the standings. So this will be how you'll view your team standings. Will be through the app. For the roster, if you click on a player, you should be able to. Now, I will say this, that the the paid portion, like these paid dues, you will not see on yours, because the only reason why you can see that on this situation is because I am an admin for the website. But from here, you will be able to see their email, the Guardian's name, all their access. If you want to click this little button to text people, you can do that. You should be able to click this and shoot them a phone call, and you'll be able to email them all from here. So you should be able to see everybody's information when it comes to like contact information. I do not believe you will see their birthday, address, or anything like that. That was some confusion yesterday in our meeting, because people were pulling up the app and we're like, I don't see any of the information that you're talking about. And I was like, okay. So I had to click a button. Should be fixed now. If you don't see it in the Play app, reach out to me, and I'll reach out to League Apps again to see if that's something I can fix. But it should be fixed now to where you can see everybody's, like you can click here and click it to send a text message, click this to call somebody, or send an email. And so it's something that's a really nice feature that I feel like, like TeamSnap and those guys don't have. So it is, again, a nice feature that League Apps Play app does let you have. From here, also at the bottom, you'll be able to see any messages. As you're going to see over here, these are announcements that we have sent out. So this was a reminder of the coaches meeting that happened last night. If you have the League Apps Play app, and this is one huge benefit of this, is it does do push notifications to your phone. So anytime we have to cancel games, because in the winter we know it snows here in Kansas, if we need to cancel games for ice or snow, it's a push notification that gets sent out to everybody. So that way you do not have to go in there and individually message people out or sit there looking at your email. That was something we struggled with in the past, just kind of that easy communication. We had the weather line, but some people didn't know about the weather line. And so sitting there and being able to send out a push notification super quick to everybody's phone, letting them know what's going on, before, you can also, I would also highly recommend you also sending out a message too, just to make sure everybody's got multiple messages on it, in case somebody doesn't have a notification turned on. But this is a huge benefit of having this app available for you guys. Next, we're going to kind of go through the operations for the season. So practice schedules and policy. So for practice schedules, the practice schedule request form is underneath the coach's corner under league rules and information on the GABL website. You will also have the link inside the email that this link to this video came from. So you can go in there and you can view that from there as well. You can go in there, but practice requests need to be made by the end of the day tomorrow on October 17th. If it is after October 17th, we will not be accepting it. It needs to be done beforehand. This practice schedule request form, what this does is this just asks for your first preference on day of the week and time where you would like to practice, or when you would like to practice. All practices will be, we're going to try to make them as centrally located as possible. So for example, if you are at Corinth Elementary, just off the top of my head, if you're at Corinth Elementary, we will try to place you at Corinth if we have it in our possession when it comes to rentals, because we do have to compete with like KC Premier and other basketball groups for these practice facilities. So some of these facilities, some of the schools, elementaries in KCP, in the the Shawnee Mission School District, we do not have. So we will try to put you at your home school. If we cannot do that, we really try to put you within at least 10 minutes, a 10-minute drive of your home school. So if you live at Corinth, we'll try to place you at Belinder, or we'll try to place you, I'm trying to think of these, or like a Prairie. Those are all within 10-minute drives of Corinth that are still easy for you to access and keep you as close to home as possible. Again, it's not guaranteed, but we always try to do that. When you're at your practices, again, reminder that this is a rental. We are renting these facilities from Shawnee Mission School District or the Olathe School District. If you're an Olathe team, the head coach is responsible for the gym while on location. So, for example, if the PE teacher has something written on the marker board, please do not let your players go over there and erase it off the marker board. If the PE teacher has stuff set in the corner for their class the next day, please don't go messing around with it. Please don't don't be moving cones. Don't be moving anything. We need to make sure that we are taking care of our spaces because Shawnee Mission School District is a huge help when it comes to the amount of teams that we have and helping us get practices and helping us get times. So please make sure that if you're the head coach, you're responsible for the gym while you're there at that location. On top of that, please do not arrive until 10 minutes before your practice time. I would say maybe 15. I would say maybe 15 minutes if you're the first practice of the night, which at Shawnee Mission School District starts at 6 p.m. We cannot have any practices before 6 p.m. in the Shawnee Mission School District facility. If you're in Olathe, they do 5 o'clock practices. So there's a little extra added benefit if you're an Olathe school team. But again, don't be showing up at 5:30 trying to get in 30 minutes before your 6 o'clock practice, or don't be showing up there at 6:30, showing up trying to get some extra shots up before your 7 o'clock practice. You need to arrive 10 minutes before practice time, and if there's a team or teams practicing in the gym while you're there, please be respectful of their space. Don't be having kids walking in there. Please make sure that you're just being respectful of their space. The last thing when it comes to practice schedules is I understand everybody wants their own gym. They want the gym to themselves. But with the amount of teams that we have and unfortunately just the amount of space that we have, that is not always the case. Please understand that some teams will have to practice with somebody else in the gym. You'll have half the court. You'll have all 3 baskets on your half the court, so you can go full court. What we would call the kind of the volleyball court line, ways going sideways on the side hoops, on the auxiliary goals, if you want to call them that. But please keep that in mind that some of you will have to share practice space. If you are a team, say, again, using Corinth as an example, if you're like a 3rd grade Corinth team and there's another 3rd grade Corinth team, on that practice request form, you can request a practice with that team. So that kind of does save you some time. And also at the end of the day, if you're in there with the same grade, that can help you benefit you if you need to work on team stuff, because maybe if you only have 7 players on your team and you only have 5 kids show up, you can't really have a defense. If you have somebody else in your gym, you can go work with them. You can talk with the coaches in scrimmage for maybe the last 20, 10, 15 minutes of a practice if you need to scrimmage a little bit. So there are extra benefits to having somebody in your gym and kind of, if you're having two teams in a gym at a time. So I would just highly recommend looking at those positives and trying to work together to kind of get through that situation. Again, just don't expect to have your own gym, all the time when it comes to practice. Last thing about practice that I just remember, sorry about this. Practice schedules, first week of practices will be released on October 24th at the end of the day. So we'll have those done by next Friday. And then the following couple weeks will start coming out after that. We do not plan to kind of do it week by week like we did last year. Our goal is to get it a little more ahead of it this year than we did last year and sending out multiple weeks at a time. Please understand when it comes to scheduling in those practice schedules, we will obviously try to keep you at the same location, day and time every week. But things do change a lot within the Shawnee Mission School District, and they can change quickly. So we might have to move. If you're at Corinth one week, you might have to go to Prairie one week because Corinth might have a program that night, and the gym's not open. So we do ask for some flexibility when it comes to your locations and times, but again, we will try to put you somewhere as consistent as possible. So that's it for practices. If you have any more questions, obviously, like I said, you can email me and I can answer those for you. When it comes to game schedules, Again, we have a preseason schedule. Those dates are on the screen there. The first set of games is November 15th through the 16th. We take 2 weeks off, and then we come back for the first 2 weeks of December to play those preseason games. Those preseason games, those 3 games, will be scheduled in advance. You will know about those. I believe Josh said, I'm trying to look at the calendar here. I believe he said you will find out about those. I think it'll be like the week of November. It'll be like the week of like November, that first week of November, so like November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That week we'll have the first 3 preseason games out. So that way you know all 3 of those days and times that you will be playing for the preseason. If you're new to the league, the preseason, what that just does is that just gives us some flexibility on where we put teams in divisions, and this is kind of help us gauge at what skill level teams are. And so, sometimes teams that are new to our league, they'll put down their beginners, and they'll come into here and we'll put them against beginners in the preseason, and they just dominate by 20, 30 points. Well, then we find out that that's not a beginning team, and we can move them up a division, or we can move a team down a division if we need to as well. So these preseason games just kind of help with that. Your regular season division schedules will start on January 10th and 11th that weekend, and then we will play until that last couple weeks of February, where for the 4th through 7th grade teams we'll have a bracket style end of the season tournament that'll have all the games will be on Tourney Machine, and we'll play the weekends of February 21st, 22nd, and February 28th and March 1st for the end of the season tournament. On game day, and real quick before I forget, if you have any schedule requests when it comes to games, I'll also have that schedule request link in the email that you got for this video. And please, when you put the schedule request in there, please understand that this is basketball season. So we're asking some flexibility with other sports that might be going on to kind of help with those. I do know that there are some teams that reached out to us yesterday at the meeting was saying, hey, the older teams that are like, hey, we're going to play in some tournaments. That's great. But, please make our games a priority first, because our schedules are a lot harder to move around. Like I told somebody last night, like a group like KC Premier and Agape, they might only have to worry about 30, 40 teams. We have to worry about 400. So, you have your schedule way more in advance than another tournament team does. So if you're wanting to play in tournaments, that's great. But just make sure that you tell Agape, the KC Premiers of the world, like, hey, we have a GABL game at 3 o'clock on Sunday. We need to be done before 2 on Sunday. And then if that doesn't happen and you need it fixed or help, we can try to help you and do go from there. Or if you want to play in a tournament and maybe it's a one-day tournament on Saturday, and then maybe it's like a one-day tournament on a Saturday, you can put a game schedule request in to say, hey, we can only play on Sunday of that weekend, and we can help maneuver around there. But again, game schedule request form, I think that's November 8th is when that deadline needs to be in there for that. I'll have that in the email as well, but you'll be able to go in there and do that. So, all right. Game day. There will always be a GABL gym supervisor on site to kind of help answer questions and kind of help when it comes to like the score sheet time and stuff like that. Please understand that the GABL gym supervisor is not a rules enforcer. So, for example, if we have some special rules we'll go through here after this for our divisions. But for example, like 1st through 3rd grade, there's no pressing. If a team is pressing, which it never is, but if for some reason there is, and the ref's not stopping them, you can tell the gym supervisor, but the gym supervisor's role is to not run in there and tell the refs, hey, you're making the wrong calls. Their role is to go in there, make sure the games are set up, make sure that score sheets are ready, tables are up, or scoreboards are up, and to help assist kind of the flow of the game. The officials are there to officiate the rules. You guys are there to coach. Your fans are there to cheer everybody on and to support your team. But the GABL gym supervisor, again, is not there to kind of be the rules, person in the middle of the game that needs to run out there and tell a ref what to do. Okay. Speaking of refs, every Sunday evening after games are done, we'll have official gradings that'll be done online that you can go in and grade your officials. Please go in there and grade them. whether it was a bad experience, medium experience, or a great experience, please go in there and still grade them. Corey Starnes, he's our official assigner. His group referee 365 is in charge of all of our officials, and so those evaluations we send to him, and so that way he can kind of see who's doing their job and who's not. And that way we can try to get the best refs out there possible for you guys. We understand that refs really do, sometimes can have an influence on the experience of the game, and not only by the calls that they're making, but their attitudes on the court and how they're working with kids. So, we want to make sure we have the best refs out there possible to give the best product back to you guys. So please make sure, coaches, you're filling out those grading forms every Sunday evening. That'll be sent out to you guys through your email. If you have cheerleaders, please let our office know. You can have cheerleaders. That's totally fine. But just talk with our office so that way, we can call in our office, send an email if you have cheerleaders. That way we can kind of give you some more specific guidelines on those. I'm not quite familiar on the rules with the cheerleaders. So just call in if you have any questions on the cheerleaders, and we can help, provide the rules and guidelines for those. One rule we're going to talk about before we go into our special rules is a playing time rule. All grades. Each team has a minimum of 15 minutes per game. There are some things that you can do when it comes to go below 15 minutes a game. Those things are only for health, injury, disciplinary, or practice attendance. So, for example, if a player is sick, he's trying to make it through the game, he only can play 5 minutes without maybe having to sit down because his stomach hurts and he needs to go to the bathroom. That's one thing. If a kid obviously rolls his ankle and he can't play, that's obvious. But when it comes to disciplinary and practice attendance, if you want to take playing a time away from a player, that needs to be talked about with the parent before the game happens. You cannot just go in there and cut playing time from a player in the middle of the game. You cannot just do that, but without talking to the parent, because what the parent's going to do is they're going to say, my son, my daughter didn't play their 15 minutes. Please make sure you talk with the parents beforehand. If you want to BCC our office in an email with a parent kind of explaining that, that's great. We would love to have that, so that way we are aware that you are stopping a player from playing because of disciplinarians or practice attendance. Obviously, we ask for flexibility and empathy when it comes to certain situations, especially maybe something when it comes to practice attendance or something like that. But obviously, we all know that sometimes sports is the way to get through to a child. Taking that away can maybe stop a certain action at practice or something like that. But again, everything should be talked with the parent. And again, please make sure you're openly communicating with them before the game, not after the game. It can't just be a knee-jerk reaction. Has to be before the game. Please communicate with them. Okay? All right, special rules. This is on our website. You can pause to read through these. I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. But again, goal height. As first and second grade, it's 8 foot. If you're at the third grade level, if you're moving up from first to second grade, you now go to 9-foot goals, and then fourth through eighth grade all play on 10-foot goals. When it comes to ball size, first and second grade boys and girls, and just third grade girls play with a 27.5-inch basketball. Boys will play with a 28.5, going third and up, and girls will start playing with a 28.5-inch ball in fourth grade and up. Okay. When it comes to basketballs, I personally would highly recommend coaches to have kind of a game ball that's a nicer basketball that fits these guidelines. We do not provide basketballs for coaches or players, but we're going to have a Dick's Sporting Goods shopping event next week on October 20th. I think it's October 25th, 6th. It's next weekend. A little selfless plug there for our sponsor. But again, we'll have a shop day event next weekend on the 25th and 26th. You can go get 20% off of basketball. That way, that basketball is always going to be at the game. It's going to be aired up. It's going to be a good basketball to play with. And because you never know when you're going to have a player, a first grader, walk in with a full size 7 basketball trying to shoot on an 8-foot goal. That's not going to help him or her, and that can't be used for games. So when it comes to shooting, specifically free throws for first second, third grade boys and girls, and fourth grade girls will be 12 foot. And then basically fourth grade boys and up and fifth grade girls and up will use 15 foot, the normal free throw line for their games. First through third grade, there is no pressing. You have to let your players get across the half court line. And then fourth through eighth grade, there's pressing at every division, between fourth and eighth grade. For defense, no zone defense is allowed in first through second grade. First through third grades, there's no zone defense. There's also no double teaming outside of the lane. Now, that is, some coaches might get a little confused on this. There is a difference between playing good help man defense and stepping over and plugging a gap and then moving back to your player. There's a difference between that and having two players follow a player all the way around the 3-point line. Okay, so keep that in mind as refs are kind of working through that. Referees, sometimes probably won't call a double team because it looks like they're just helping to stop a defender or stop an offensive player from driving to the basket. So please keep that in mind as well. Double teaming is allowed inside the lane, though, in first through third grade. So if they get into the lane, everybody can collapse and put their hands up. Okay, so double teaming is allowed inside the lane. Outside of the lane, it is not allowed. Another rule that is not on here is like stack offenses or ISO offenses. So if you have a really good player, you cannot just take the four other players, put them on the left side of the 3-point line, and let your best player go one-on-one with somebody. Even though, like Josh said last night at our meeting, even though it's cool to watch a kid go off for 40, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to build players, to build teams, and to have players grow. And even though it's fun to watch somebody score 40, it's more fun when that kid makes his first basket and gets so excited because he's never made a basket before in his life. So please keep that in mind. If you have any more questions on rules, the rules are on our website, and you can go find those and look those up. Or if you have any questions about the special rules, feel free to email me. All right, last thing real quick is our Heartland Hoop Fest and Jamboree. So our Heartland Hoop Fest and Jamboree, this is a extra opportunity for games. This is not included in your winter registration. So the Heartland Hoop Fest and Jamboree is going to be held on November 22nd and 23rd. So that's a Saturday and Sunday before Thanksgiving. And this is the weekend right after your first preseason game. The reason why we have the tournament this weekend instead of playing games that weekend is the following week is fall break for a lot of schools anymore, where they take the whole week off. And so we didn't want to have to schedule games and make people pick and choose between going on vacation, going and seeing family, and playing basketball. So instead, we have this extra opportunity for players and teams to sign, for teams to sign up. You do have to have a full team. You cannot just sign up as an individual player to do this event. You have to have a full team to go play this. The Hoop Fest the tournament is for 4th through 8th grade boys and girls. It's a 3-game guarantee and is $150. The Jamboree is a 2-game guarantee and it's $100. Both the Jamboree and the tournament have competitive and rec divisions. Please note that the Hoop Fest for 4th through 8th grade is a tournament, so there will be trophies and medals, whereas 1st through 3rd grade, again, it's just 2 games, and there's no trophies, no medals. It's not a tournament. It's just 2 games extra to go in and play. You can use the promo code right there on the right, Winter25, to receive 25% off of your registration. So again, if you're a Jamboree team, that knocks it down to $75. If you have a team of 8 players, everybody donates whatever it is, $8-10. They get an extra 2 games for $8. That's not a bad deal at all. To go get just a couple extra games in, just to kind of help bridge that 2-week gap between preseason games. If you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to myself or Josh. We can help you. Most of the questions I will probably get is going to be tournament format for the Hoop Fest tournament. We will determine that when we see the amount of teams that we have in each division, whether it's going to be a straight tournament, whether it's round robin. It depends on the amount of teams that we have. So the more teams that we have, the better the competitive and the rec divisions are, and the better the tournament is overall, the more teams we have. So please go in there and register. Again, use promo code Winter25. to receive 25% off. You will have to use that promo code before October 31st in order to get that discount. After October 31st, the discount will go away and you will not be able to access it. So, again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can just email me back again at nick@gabl.net. But if not, we appreciate you guys, coming to play with us this winter. If you're a returning team, thanks for coming back again. If you're a new team, thank you for coming out and trying us out and trying our league out. And we hope that we have a good enough experience that you come back and you're one of those returning teams for the spring, summer, fall, and even next winter. So again, I'm Nick. If you have any more questions, reach out to nick@gabl.net.